It's no secret that I live where it's extremely cold. It's not like Canada or Alaska, but it's Minnesota and it's really cold. And one of the things almost every vehicle up here has, listen to me, what you're about to see in this video is for exhibition, off-road, entertainment purpose only. You should not be able to start a race car if you're not in the seat. Don't do it. It could lead to death, injury, or you piling up somebody else's car in the staging lanes. Commence the video. It's remote start, like my truck. And I always thought it'd be super cool if my race car had remote start. Then I wouldn't have to be next to it. I can warm it up in the staging lanes. I can warm up the trailer. If I want to take it for a ride in January, if I want to take it to a family function to Christmas, I can warm it up before I go. So what I've acquired, I've actually had this for a long time. It's been sitting on my shelf for over a year because it was a project I had in mind and I never got to it. But now that I have a running car in February, I have time to do stupid stuff that I normally don't have time to do. The Mo Unit Blue. So this is the easiest. Well, I could just tell you what it says. Digital Steinheit Zoi Eifman Wacken. It's foreign. There's a translation. Digital control unit to simplify wiring of motorcycles. So it's like a little relay, inputs, outputs, and it runs lights, ignition, starter, things like that in your motorcycle. There's actually a couple really good videos out there about these. They've been around for a while, but the Bluetooth thing is new. So I saw the Bluetooth one, I thought I could probably make that work off my phone. So they don't want you to remote start your motorcycle. So it doesn't actually have a function to do that, but I think we can make it work. There's not a whole lot to it. So the starter output, I can't see anything. Oh my God. Okay, so the starter output has a dual output, 10 amp piece, so it's 20 amp total. The rest of these are 10 amps. But this last one on the end here, where's my finger? This auxiliary one, you can combine two together. So like I said, I can't use the 20 amp starter one because it won't let me Bluetooth activate these, but I can Bluetooth activate this auxiliary, so I can click on the ignition and then the start, and I can run the water pump and the fan and stuff off, and other things off of here. So this is the wiring in the car right now. This isn't the passenger side. No, it's not the greatest looking thing you've ever seen. This was kind of like a last 2-night deal before we left for LS Fest, but basically what I got going on is that arc switch panel lights all these relays. So I think I'm just gonna piggyback, and this Mo unit here, I'm just gonna piggyback the output right to the relay, so it'll double up here. So in my head, I can turn it on with the switch panel or with the Bluetooth. Okay, obviously this is not the final install point. I just left it out here so we can see it, so it's kind of get the gist of it. It's gonna go over here on this panel, and I do plan to use all the functions of it. I might cover that in the video because the car actually doesn't have any exterior lights on it yet, but we'll get there. For now, I just want to get the point across about how this thing is going to start my race car. So this is pretty straightforward stuff. This is a chassis ground. This is battery power. The chassis ground is part of the mounting tab, so once I mount it over there, we'll be good to go. I probably won't need this anymore. So once you got power and ground on it, at that point, you have to do the setup in your phone, which is kind of a pain. You got to basically trigger the horn and the turn signal a few times. It puts you in setup mode, and then you're good to go. Anyhow, once you get through that struggle, now we're connected, now we're live. I can see all the inputs and outputs on my phone. So what I have here, like I said, is I couldn't use the start circuit down here, these two that are tied together. So I had to use auxiliary 2 on this end. So this 10 gauge comes over here, and right now I've just got jumped into the start circuit. This is my neutral safety wiring off the shifter. No, it's not gonna stay like this. This is just so we can see it and it's easy to grasp what's happening here. So start circuit coming out of auxiliary 2, and then this is our ignition here. That makes sense, it's pretty straightforward. So at this point, via my phone, I should be able to turn on the ignition and then hit the starter, and this honey should come to life. All right, so this is the home screen on the Moto app. You can load your vehicle, all that sorts of fun stuff. But the gist of this, where you want to get to, where this little power lightning bolt is here, this takes you into the circuitry of the board itself. So now this is where all your touchscreen is. You can command these things remotely. The starter down here, like I talked about, it's not gonna let me. So even if I try to use that, it's gonna give you the error message. It says nobody's gonna die today. You're like, all right, cool. So we're on auxiliary 2 for the starter, and then ignition is as it should be. So if you watch to the right there, when I click ignition, you see it come on with the LED, and it's currently drawing 0.1 amps. So you can see when I clicked it, the ignition in the car came on, and everything is live. So at this point, I should be able to hit my start button, and this bad boy should start winging right over. All right, then we turned it off. Okay, everybody saw the big hiccup here, right? The bad part about this. The problem is, it's because I can't use the start button. It's not momentary. I'm still trying to find a workaround for this. Right now, I can just like click it on, click it off really fast, and it's fine. We have a lifetime starter. But you could see where I click this thing on and I can't get it shut off because of my fat thumbs, and it just keeps winging over. So that's kind of a bummer. I'm trying to figure out a workaround to make that a little bit better. But either way, this thing works pretty sweet. I like that you can see the amperage draw on the circuits. I like that it'll reset itself if it has a problem. There's a lot of like PDM units out there that cost a fortune. And for like 350 bucks, I think I paid for this thing, it's not too shabby. So even if you're not like looking to put remote start in your race car, I think this thing's well worth it for wiring the lights on it. Like a car like mine, I have no lights, I have no flashes, I don't have anything. I literally just have the lenses on the car, and there's nothing in it. So instead of me using up my arc panel to run all these lights, I can run all the lights off this thing, and once you own the app, you can program it so you can turn up the blinker speed, you can have the brakes fade on, fade off, just little stuff like that, where instead of adding in flashers and stuff under the dash, it's just way easier. And you can run it from your phone. You know, so when your car's over in the stage lanes at night, you see the photographer walking by, you're like, oh, sick, let me turn on the fog lights real quick for him. So I'm gonna get this thing mounted in its home up here, clean up the wiring a little bit, and we are pretty well set. Okay, so we did a quick little wiring job on the old headlights. These were in here when I bought the car. I don't know if they work. I hope they work. This one, if anyone doesn't work, it's probably this one. It used to be attached better, and then when the car came up and down real hard, it kind of just fell apart, but hoping she still works. So right now I just got the lights and the ignition on it. I gotta throw a starter wire on it, so I'm still debating how I want to do that, but it's in for now. I did verify that it grounds out through these just fine. Everything works good. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Light. This is just too good. I'm just sitting here in my thinking chair. God, it's just, oh, there they are. But anyhow, so you can see it's got the current load on it, 10 amps. And this is accurate because I had one hooked up and it was like 5.9. Down here it shows battery voltage, blah, 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 and total amperage. But yeah, I don't know, overall I think it's pretty sweet. So the last thing I really want to figure out is how to monitor the vitals from my phone. Like somehow to get the Holly Dash on my phone, on my iPhone, so I can not be at the car, but I can be watching the vitals, turn the water pump on, turn the fan off, shut the car down if I want to, things like that. I've heard of like Bluetooth, Holly, but I don't know if it works on a phone, if it's just like it's gotta be on an iPad, I'm not 100% sure yet. But so if anybody knows anything about getting my vitals from the Holly onto my iPhone, go ahead and let me know, because then we'd really have her made. But anyhow, that's about it for the old Bluetooth game there. Pretty stoked about it. It's something I want to do for a long time, and now they finally have a running car in February. We have time to do stupid shit. So anyhow, that's done. If you didn't notice, the scales are under the car. So if you ever wonder how much this thing weighs, we're about to find out. Whew, so heavy. If you have kids, if you have little kids that go to sleep at like 8, 9 o'clock, you know the struggle of not being able to start your car. $27.79. So there, now you all know my dirty little secrets. If you paused it because you wanted to see the weight bias, keep in mind it changes a whole lot when I get in the car. But that's the dry weight of the car. That's completely race ready. The only thing it's missing is me, a CO2 bottle, my fire suit, but that's it. It's completely race ready. It's got full tank fuel, there's oil in it, blah, blah, blah. Earlier this week on Facebook, I posted that it was like 27.73 or 74. Something changed. I remember being out here this week and thinking to myself, oh, that's gonna add like 5 pounds, but I can't remember what it was. It's obviously pretty race car interior. The dash is fiberglass, but it's got like its actual factory padded carpet. The glass Everything's glass, front rears, it goes up and down. Oh God, I just broke it. There we go. It's all steel. The bumpers are like, those are actual OEM bumpers, they're steel. I don't know, the car's all steel except for the hood is glass. I did add some weight in the off season with the front runners. I used to have bias ply 15, I went to a radial 17, but that's okay because they look sick. That's it. Now you know how much it weighs, you know how much power it makes after the last video. You should easily be able to put together the pieces on how fast the car is. That's it for this week's video. I got a couple more stupid little things I want to do to the car that have no bearing on performance whatsoever, but I got time to do it, so I'm gonna do it. Stand by for that.